Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mayor's Corner. We have a very special guest with us today, and Mr. Perales, I'm going to have you, introduce yourself and kind of explain what you're doing here in Alice, Texas, and for our surrounding communities and counties.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Mayor, for having us. It is a pleasure to be here in Alice, Jim Wells County with SBA. My name is Gabriel Perales. I am the Public Information Officer for the Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. And we are here in Jim Wells County, in particular today here at your office, to share that SBA has now garnered an agency disaster area for Jim Wells County. And so with that being said, what that means for residents, homeowners, renters, nonprofits, and businesses is that there are now resources available for them if they were impacted by the severe storms of May the 8th.
Yes.
And as you very well know, there was certainly some significant damage throughout the county. And we want to let people know, whether you're in Jim Wells County, Brooks, Duval, Clayburgh, Live Oak, Nueces, or San Patricio, and you were impacted by those severe storms, then you should certainly come out, submit an application, and see if you qualify for some of the resources that may be available to you.
And you're here currently in person to take the applications and help answer any questions anyone may have. And you're going to be at the building here downtown at 601 East Main Street. And you're going to be there Monday through, well, you but your reps will be there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Until June 26th.
June
correct?
26th, that is correct. So if anybody is interested in applying, there's a couple of ways that you can go about that. As you mentioned, first and foremost, if somebody wants to have assistance, they can walk into our center, or the 601 Main Street address. We'll have some of our customer service reps. They will walk you through and help you through the application process in person. Or if you are unable to come in person, you're more than welcome to do it online as well. And you can go to sba.gov/disaster, and you can submit your application there. Or finally, you can also apply over the telephone. And you can call us at 1-800-659-2955. Again, 1-800-659-2955 if you prefer to submit your application over the telephone.
So those are two other options besides the in-person till the 26th. After the 26th, well, even right now, online?
Sure. Online and in person is going to be available.
Okay.
So the deadline for applications is August 1st. And from now until June 26th, the option to apply in person is available. But after the 26th of June, the only way you will be able to apply will be online or in person up until August 1st.
Okay. And that is going to that website. If you choose not to come in person during that time frame, it's sba.gov/disaster.
Disaster, correct. And that'll take you right to the page where you submit your zip code, and it'll walk you through the process. It'll ask you to submit your documents through a portal as well. So it really just lends itself. SBA tries to do as much as we can in terms of facilitating individuals or businesses to apply in whatever way is easiest and most convenient to them.
It's user-friendly.
Absolutely, very user-friendly. Again, in and out in 15 minutes or so for an application.
Okay.
Same thing in person, really, with our customer service reps. You can be in and out of there in 10, 15 minutes if you prefer that personal touch of a person helping you submit that application.
When you go online and you initially submit your information, are you going to have to upload any documents or anything?
Sure.
Yes.
There are a couple of documents that we're going to ask for, whether you're in person or online. Again, we're going to ask for an identification, so your driver's license, if you have one. We'll go ahead and ask you for a social security card, if you have one, a copy of that. We'll ask you for proof of residence, so whether that's maybe a copy of your deed, or maybe a mortgage statement if you're a homeowner, or if you're a renter, maybe a copy of your lease. So there'll be a couple of items that it will actually request while you're going through the application process.
So kind of have some of those if you can. prepared or have them readily available. A
Absolutely.
deed,
Mortgage statement,
okay,
a copy of your lease if you're a renter, maybe a bill that has your name and your address. So we certainly just want to make sure that you reside at the property that you're claiming was impacted by the storm.
for businesses, would it be the articles of incorporation or what's required for
Yeah,
nonprofits?
for businesses, you'll start getting into different elements,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
a profit and loss statement, certainly some tax records that are going to show, you know, the loss of income or the loss of business.
Okay.
And, you know, now I'm glad you asked that question because as we're talking about business, let me just really briefly share with you what resources are available for the business community. For the business community, any business that was impacted physically and either has to repair or replace their business, they can qualify for up to $2 million. And that's with an interest rate as low as 4% with a term of up to 30 years. So the terms are fantastic to help businesses get themselves back on their feet the same way they were prior to the storms of May 8th.
And you mentioned that most of these do not have a prepayment penalty, correct?
Correct. There is no prepayment penalty. And as a matter of fact, if you accept, you know, our offer, nothing will happen up until the day you use those funds. I didn't mention that aside from the low interest rate and the actual 30-year term, we actually defer the payments and the interest for the
That's-
first year. So you really from
That's
the
amazing.
It
Yes.
really is great. It really is great, Mayor, and it's really intended, again, to help these businesses get themselves back on their feet. You know, you go through the application process, if you're approved and you accept the funds, once you accept the funds, then that's when the clock starts ticking for that first year of no payments, no interest. But you don't necessarily have to take the funds right away either. Let's just say you're maybe gonna alter a few things because your business was impacted and you wanna alter the structure of the building or you're gonna do some plans to change it up a little, and that might take some time. Then you can ask for an extension and we won't disperse your funds until a later time, and that means that the clock doesn't start ticking. So that's
Okay.
important to know for our business community. Now, for our homeowners, I will share that any homeowner whose house was impacted, again, physically, either they need to repair or replace damages to their home, they can qualify for up to $500,000. And the interest rates on the home disaster loan is 2.81%
That's a great
interest.
interest rate.
It really is, and the same
Yes.
rules apply, no payment, no interest for the first year, up to a 30-year term. So again, it really lends itself to allowing the homeowners to rebuild, repair, replace. And for those that maybe have already done their own repairs or replacement of some damages, all they have to do is maybe submit copies of receipts, maybe a couple of pictures of the damages with those receipts, and we will certainly take that into consideration as well. Not only that, but for renters and homeowners alike, aside from the $500,000, they can also both qualify, renters and homeowners, for an additional $100,000, and that would be for personal loss. So if things in their home got damaged, clothes, furniture, cars, even cars qualify under the personal loss, that can be an additional $100,000 of disaster loan. And again, 2.81%, 30-year term, and no payments, no interest for the first year.
That's great.
So it
And
really is.
nonprofits work about the same as a business loan?
They do. The nonprofits actually do qualify almost like the business sector. Their interest rates, again, nonprofits can also qualify for up to $2 million. And their interest rates are slightly lower than the business sector. Theirs are at 3.62%. And one of the things that happens with our nonprofit sector is oftentimes, as a nonprofit, you rely on maybe one or two actual functions per year to do your fundraising, campaigning, and they rely on the bulk of their funds to
That's
help the
it.
community during that one event. Well, let's just say that a nonprofit was expecting to have a function the week of May, but the storms hit, so now they didn't have their fundraising campaign. That obviously got deterred by
They
the
were
storms.
impacted.
They were impacted. So they weren't able to do their fundraising, which would have been thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for them. Now they've been impacted, so they can also qualify for the up to $2 million as well.
Okay. I know there were some nonprofits that had some damage to their structures where they house out of. And some of our local businesses, we had some that had lost their roof and had damage, and a lot of homeowners too. And so if you have been impacted, they're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 at 601 East Main Street downtown. They're here to help us answer questions. Even if you feel like you don't qualify, come on in and speak to them, and they can at least guide you and let you know that you're not going to lose anything by coming to apply and or inquire. It'll be beneficial because you may think you don't, and maybe you do qualify. So I encourage everyone to come on out and visit with the reps that are there, and or visit online and apply online. They're here to help us, and they've allocated some funds to help with these efforts, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. You're exactly right. We certainly encourage everybody to come and if you have been impacted, go through the application process. It's better to go through the process and know whether or not you qualify. If you do, you have those funds available to you should you need them. If for some reason you don't qualify at that moment, you will receive a letter indicating the reason why, and there'll be an opportunity for you to resubmit that application if you're able to meet the reasons why you got a notice that you didn't qualify in the first place. So just because you don't qualify the first time doesn't mean you can resubmit it a second and a third time with the necessary documentation that we're requesting. But all in all, you're absolutely right. If you have been impacted, come visit our customer service reps, let them assist you in taking the application. Neither myself nor they make the determination on whether or not you actually are eligible or do qualify. So the first step is submitting the application so that it can go to the underwriters, and they'll start reviewing the process. But it really is critical. We're not going to be here for a very long time. Again, August 1st is the deadline. We will have people here until June 26th. So we certainly want to go ahead and share that we're about 3 weeks away before we go ahead and take our personnel and unfortunately move on to another disaster area. But we're here now. We are certainly going to do our best to reach out to the community. So thank you for offering us this opportunity here today to share with everybody. We're here to help. We're here to offer disaster loan resources should you need them, and we certainly hope that the community does hear our calls and get themselves out here, apply online or over the phone.
Again, please come out and take advantage of this opportunity and this time frame that's been given to us to help at least try to offset some losses and hopefully qualify for a low interest rate. I have one more question.
Sure, yes, please.
A lot of homeowners, they do have mobile homes. How does that meet a different criteria, or is that still considered as long as it was homestead, or does it?
That is their home,
Okay.
right? It doesn't matter if the home is mobile or not. That is their home, and as long as they were living in it,
Okay.
if that mobile home suffered physical damage, then they are entitled to disaster loan resources as well. So
Okay.
that we really don't take into consideration if it's mobile or not. We take into consideration where they
That was their
rest
primary
their head.
residence.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, again, we encourage you to please come out and take advantage of these available resources, and that they're here in person at 601 East Main Street in Alice, Texas, downtown. If you don't, if for any reason you have any questions, you're more than welcome to call me, 361-396-3371. And our City Hall is 361-668-7210, extension 5. And I don't know if you have a number or again. Or
We do, sure. I'll gladly share it with anyone again. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at 1-800-659-2955, or you can also go onto our website at www.sba.gov sba.gov/disaster. And those are really the two ways that you can get a hold of us if it's not in person that you'd like to join us. But we certainly are happy that we're here to help, and thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you for being here.
We know
Yes.
Judge Trevino has also been
Yes.
wonderful, so we look forward to the continued collaboration over the course of the next couple of weeks in
Yes.
hopes of getting this out to residents of all of Jim Wells County.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's, you did say, we say Jim Wells County, but there's also some other counties that are included in that. Do you want to read those one more time?
Sure. The other counties that can also apply are going to be Brooks, Duval, Clayburgh, Live Oak, Nueces, and San Patricio. And for those counties, again, they are more than welcome to go over the phone, online, or in person as well. For those counties, we have a different program that's called our EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And for those counties, what that means is that they are eligible, again, for up to $2 million for business owners that may have been impacted by the storms. Let's say they were doing business in the affected areas, but because those individuals got impacted, they're no longer doing business with folks in these other counties, then now we call that economic injury. And so whether it's physical damage or economic injury, we just want to share that there is a multiple resources that are available just depending on how you were impacted. And those are really the conversations that we want to pick up and start having so long as it was that you were impacted in some way, shape, or fashion.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Again, everyone, take advantage of these resources in person till June 26 here downtown Alice at 601 East Main Street. And hope you come out. I also want to just kind of advise everyone, stay safe. We're in hurricane season. Be prepared. We will have a list or a booklet out that will, a guide that will help everyone just on what to be prepared for. So stay safe, be careful, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Perales, for being here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.